Welcome to the Lion's Share podcast, where we break down today's most impactful research and bring fresh insights from the academic frontier straight to you.
What if we could, really peel back the layers and understand what makes the most groundbreaking entrepreneurs and innovators tick? And then what if we could take those insights and directly apply them to your corporate strategy or maybe your next big internal venture?
It's a compelling idea. For so long, innovations felt a bit like, lightning in a bottle, right? Some kind of mystical gift.
Exactly. But what if it's not? What if it's actually a set of behaviors you can learn, a process you can repeat?
That's the really fascinating question our sources today force us to grapple with. From HBS Online, InSeed, Entrepreneur Mag, they challenge that whole solitary genius thing head on.
It's a big shift in perspective, isn't it? Welcome, everyone, to the Deep Dive.
Glad to be diving in.
Today, we're plunging into these resources. Our mission, for you listening, is to pull out the most important nuggets. We're looking especially through the lens of corporate innovation, entrepreneurship, and, the marketing side of things, too.
Yeah, think of this as maybe a shortcut to decoding let's call it the DNA of success in today's business world. We want to move beyond just anecdotes and get to the research-backed, actionable stuff.
Okay, so let's start by defining the terrain. When we hear entrepreneurship, I think most people jump straight to starting a business.
Right, the classic image.
But our sources, they dig deeper. HBS Online, for instance, defines it as the pursuit of opportunity beyond the resources currently controlled. I like that. It's about spotting value creation.
That's a great definition. It captures the essence, and Hawken builds on that, seeing it as the whole process planning, organizing, operating, and crucially, shouldering the risk. And what's interesting now, like the owner blog points out, is how it's expanded. It's not just about profit anymore.
Right.
It's about solving big problems, creating social change, too. It's gotten broader.
That's a really powerful point, the expansion beyond just the bottom line.
Yeah.
And Hawken pushes back hard on the lone genius's idea, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely. He argues that's largely a myth.
So how does that shift from lone wolf to team change how we should approach innovation?
Well, it changes pretty much everything. Hawken really emphasizes moving to a team concept. Communication becomes critical not just inside the team, but with everyone outside too. Investors, partners, early customers.
So it's collaborative from the get-go.
It has to be. It's really a shared journey, not a solo quest.
Okay, so that immediately leads us to that fundamental question. Are entrepreneurs born or are they made? Module 3, Owner Blog, they both dive into this debate.
Yeah, it's the classic nature versus nurture question applied here.
Are these people just wired differently? Or can anyone cultivate these qualities?
And it's such a crucial distinction, right? Because if they can be made, that changes everything for how we develop talent.
Inside companies, too, not just for startups.
Exactly. It means we can actively nurture innovation, not just hope we hire someone who already has it.
Okay, so if it can be cultivated, that's a huge takeaway already. And the sources don't just stop there. They actually give us a framework, this Innovator's DNA.
Right, championed by INSEAD, Darren Ike. It frames innovation not as magic, but as 5 key leadership behaviors, things you can actually do.
Actionable skills, not just traits. Okay, what's the first one?
The first is observing. It's about really seeing what's going on around you, not just looking, but noticing the details, the anomalies, the things others miss.
Like seeing the problem nobody else has spotted yet.
Precisely, or seeing connections others don't. Scott Cook at Intuit apparently makes a habit of asking, what's surprising here? It's systematic observation.
I like that. Okay, so you observe, then what?
Then you question. You can't just observe passively. You have to interrogate what you see, constantly asking why not, what if?
Challenging the status quo.
Exactly. Challenging assumptions. Clarifying the real problem. It's about generating the right questions to push thinking forward.
Makes sense. Observation feeds questioning. What's next in the DNA?
Associating. This is the cognitive skill, the mental muscle for connecting seemingly unrelated ideas or information.
The aha moment.
Sort of, but it's more deliberate. Innovators actively build this skill by exposing themselves to diverse fields, diverse people, diverse experiences. They build more dots to connect.
More inputs lead to more creative outputs.
Okay, then comes experimenting. You have ideas, now you need to test them. HBS Online highlights this too.
Right, not just thinking, but doing.
Exactly. Running structured tests, trying things out, applying metrics. Think Jeff Bezos at Amazon, constant experimentation. Small, fast, cheap tests to learn quickly.
Learning what works and what doesn't, quickly and without betting the farm each time.
That's the idea. It's disciplined learning through doing.
Okay, that's 4. What's the 5th behavior?
Networking. But this isn't just schmoozing, it's actively seeking ideas, insights, and help from a diverse network.
Building connections strategically.
Yes, building trust and communicating your work effectively. Hawken mentions scale-free networks, here connecting with those central hub people.
Like well-connected VCs or industry analysts.
Exactly. Those people who can unlock doors or spread ideas quickly. Building relationships with them is key.
So those 5, observing, questioning, associating, experimenting, networking, that's the Innovator's DNA framework.
That's the core set of behaviors they identify as driving disruptive innovation.
Okay, but beyond those specific DNA behaviors, our sources also paint a broader picture, right? Other key characteristics of successful entrepreneurs.
Definitely. HBS Online and Entrepreneur Magazine offer a lot here, like curiosity, that constant seeking of new opportunities, challenging how things are done.
A fundamental drive to discover.
Absolutely. And tied to that, a willingness to experiment, using things like design thinking to test ideas, check market viability.
Which links back to the DNA skill.
It does. Then there's adaptability, being flexible, able to pivot when things change or don't go as planned. So crucial today.
They have to be able to roll with the punches.
And make tough calls. Decisiveness, making decisions, standing by them, but also correcting course when needed. You can't just freeze.
And what about knowing yourself?
That's self-awareness, knowing your strengths, your weaknesses, and building teams that complement you. Because as HBS says, it's usually the team that wins.
Right, now the lone genius.
And that ties into risk tolerance and comfort with failure. It's not about being reckless. It's about calculated risks.
Understanding the risk reward.
And seeing failure not as the end, but as learning. Data. Which requires persistence. Keep going, learn, adapt, keep going.
That resilience seems absolutely critical.
It is. We also see innovative thinking, not just radical invention, but improving things, finding novel solutions, and a long-term focus, looking beyond the launch.
Thinking about sustainability.
Right. An entrepreneur adds that the best ones blend vision with execution, big picture and getting stuff done. Plus, resourcefulness, finding clever ways around obstacles.
Thinking outside the box when resources are tight.
Exactly. And maybe most importantly, being effective with people. Persuasion, leadership, networking, communication, team building. You can't do it alone.
That theme keeps coming back. It's about collaboration and connection.
It really is. So we've got the traits, the DNA behaviors. But how does it all come together in practice? How do you actually build a venture?
The process. Hawken lays out a 5-stage process, right? Not rigid, but a kind of roadmap.
Exactly, a framework. Stage 1 is conducting opportunity analysis. This is the deep homework phase.
Defining the business, the vision, the model, the market, the competition, pricing.
All of it. He mentions Gates and Allen spent 2 years planning Microsoft initially. That's serious analysis.
Wow, 2 years. Okay, stage 2.
Developing the plan and setting up the company. Documenting everything, setting goals, and importantly, choosing the right legal structure. LLC, C Corp, S Corp. That choice has big implications later.
Thinking ahead about funding and taxes and liability.
Precisely. Which leads to stage 3, acquiring financial partners and funding. From bootstrapping or friends and family to angels, banks, VCs.
Lots of options there.
And a key decision Hawken flags is control versus growth. How much control are you willing to give up for faster growth via external funding? That shapes your options.
A critical trade-off early on. Okay, stage 4.
Determining resources and implementing the plan. This is execution. Protecting IP, managing finances, and crucially, managing people hiring, training, culture.
Getting the engine running.
And often recognizing when you need to burden experienced managers if that's not your strength.
Right, self-awareness again. And the final stage.
Stage 5, scaling and harvesting, communicating the opportunity, growing the business, and thinking about the end game, selling, merging, IPO, strategic alliance.
Planning the exit or the next phase. Hawken calls the whole thing an entrepreneurship roller coaster, right?
He does. Swings from ecstasy to despair. I think anyone who's tried it can relate.
For sure. It underlines why understanding these stages, even if they aren't perfectly linear, is so helpful for navigating the ups and downs.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's quickly recap some key terms we've used just to make sure we're all on the same page. Entrepreneurship.
That HBS online definition. Pursuit of opportunity beyond resources currently controlled. It's a process of discovery and value creation.
Got it. Then entrepreneurship.
That's applying the entrepreneurial spirit inside an existing company, driving innovation from within, like GE aimed to do.
Okay. And the innovator's DNA.
Those 5 learnable behaviors: observing, questioning, associating, experimenting, and networking. The building blocks for disruptive innovation.
And finally, the 5-stage entrepreneurial process.
Hawkins' roadmap: opportunity analysis, planning setup, funding, implementation, and scaling harvesting. A guide through the venture development journey.
Perfect. Now let's pivot a bit to critique and implications. Especially for marketing and corporate innovation, we started asking born or made. What do the sources conclude?
This is, I think, one of the most powerful implications. They acknowledge a genetic component, maybe 25–30%.
Okay, so nature plays a part.
But the strong message from Insatiable Module 3 is that the vast majority, maybe 2/3, comes from environment, experience, training. Nurture wins out.
So these are skills you can develop. That's huge for companies.
It really is. It means you can invest in developing innovators, not just trying to hire them fully formed.
Yeah.
Think about Bezos. His grandparents actively encouraged questioning and experimenting. It can be cultivated.
Which leads right into how companies can foster this. If the skills are learnable, what should managers do?
Module 3 offers good advice here. Create psychological safety. Let people experiment without fear of blame. Provide resources. Promote collaboration, especially cross-functional teams.
Get different perspectives mixing.
Yes, and set clear goals that align innovation efforts with the company's overall strategy. It can't just be a free-for-all.
And what about senior leadership's role? Can they just delegate innovation?
Absolutely not. According to INSEAD, they say it's my job and everybody's job.
Yeah.
Leaders have to model it, champion it.
Walk the talk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at companies like Salesforce, Intuitive Surgical, Keyence. They generate what's called an innovation premium. Investors value their future innovation potential highly. That doesn't happen by accident. It starts at the top.
That's fascinating. Here's a question, though, thinking about internal ventures. Hawkins mentioned that founders need to control impacting funding. How does that play out inside a big company? Control is often more distributed or layered.
That's a really tricky point. It's a potential pitfall. Corporate bureaucracy and the inherent need for control can easily suffocate internal ventures.
So how do you balance giving entrepreneurs autonomy while keeping things aligned?
It's about finding that sweet spot of managed freedom, empowering teams, giving them ownership, allowing them space to experiment and even fail sometimes without immediately shutting them down. It requires a different kind of leadership oversight than traditional management.
Okay, let's connect this directly to marketing. The sources talk about moving from technology push to market pull. How do the innovator's DNA skills help achieve that crucial product-market fit?
They're fundamental. Observing helps marketers become almost like anthropologists, deeply understanding customer needs, pains, behaviors in the real world.
Not just what they say in surveys.
Exactly. And questioning helps challenge assumptions about what the market really needs, uncovering those unarticulated desires or problems. It drives you towards genuine market insights.
And what about that sell or build idea from Entrepreneur magazine?
Right.
Gates the seller versus Jobs the builder. How does marketing leverage that?
By recognizing those different strengths within innovation teams, you need both. You need someone obsessed with the product, but you also desperately need someone who can articulate the value, build the market, and sell it effectively, like Gates did for Microsoft. Marketing needs to bridge that gap or ensure both sides are strong.
In networking, how can marketing and innovation teams use those scale-free networks Hawkins talks about?
By strategically identifying and building relationships with those key connectors, the influential analysts, VCs, consultants, maybe even super users.
Tapping into the ecosystem's intelligence network.
Precisely. Those hubs provide invaluable market intelligence, early feedback, partnership opportunities. It's about being plugged in, not isolated.
Now, we need to be realistic too. This isn't all easy wins. The sources mentioned some serious challenges, right? Like failure rates.
Oh yeah, they're sobering. HBS Online notes maybe 70% of startups survive 2 years, but only a quarter make it to 15 years. Very few become major employers. Failure is common.
It's tough out there.
Which is why stress management is so vital. Hawkins paints a picture of the 247 burnout lifestyle. You need strategies to cope, to stay rational, find balance, and get support.
Avoid letting the roller coaster derail you completely.
Exactly. And we need to keep busting that loner myth. Success comes from teams, networks, collaboration. Being effective with people is non-negotiable.
Got it. And finally, that point about innovation being a verb.
Yeah, from Yale SOM. It's not just creativity, it's an active, systematic process. Finding problems that matter and working through them to deliver solutions. It's continuous work, not a single flash of brilliance.
That reframes it nicely. It's a discipline.
It is.
So quite a journey today. We've unpacked the traits, the DNA skills, the process. We've seen it's not just for startups, but vital for corporate innovation, for entrepreneurship, with real implications for marketing.
And the big takeaway, I think, is that most of this can be learned. It's about intentional practice, the right environment, the right behaviors. You can get better at this.
Absolutely. So thinking about that and considering the unpredictability, but also that huge premium investors put on future innovation, like that 75% for Salesforce. Here's a final thought for you listening. Which of those 5 Innovators' DNA behaviors, observing, questioning, associating, experimenting, or networking, which one would you choose to actively work on, starting today, to best position yourself or your organization for success tomorrow?
That's a great question to ponder.
Maybe just start by observing your world, your customers, a little differently this week. See what you notice.
Thanks for tuning in to the Lion's Share podcast. If you enjoyed today's discussion, share it with a friend and join us next time for more ideas worth talking about. We'll see you next time.